The 19th of March is World Sleep Day, and given that it's a long weekend, it's a great opportunity to catch up on any lost sleep, because new research indicates sleep is more crucial to our health and well-being than previously understood, and a good rest can help keep some serious illnesses at bay. Let's discuss this now with Dr. Karine Scheier-Meyer, Senior Lecturer at the Wits School of Physiology, and the Wits Sleep Lab is part of the Wits School of Physiology. Good evening, Doctor. Thank you very much for your time. So what is the latest research telling us about just how important sleep is?
Right. So we've always known that, when we wake up and we haven't slept well, we are grumpy and, not feeling well, and usually, we can be a bit down, a bit low. So we know that chronic sleep deprivation leads to higher risk of depression, for example. So this is on the mental health side of things. But we also know now that poor sleep over the long run leads to higher risk of cardiovascular diseases. So higher risk of having strokes, for example, higher risk of having myocardial infarctions. And especially in one kind of sleep disorder called sleep apnea.
Wow, those are pretty serious illnesses. So how much sleep should we be getting a night to prevent that sort of long-term health issue? Does it change from person to person, or is there a gold standard for enough sleep?
Right. So, yes, there's definitely, a sort of a personal best. However, we reckon that most people, 95% of the whole population in the world, would sit between 7 and 9 hours of sleep, which I think, these days, few people only get. And I think a lot of people think that they are natural short sleepers. However, if you were to really examine what would happen if they extended a little bit their sleep, they probably would have better performance during the day, better cognition, better memory, and overall, better performance, and feeling less, having issues also with their health.
So 7 to 9 hours is pretty much what most of us need. Does it have to be in one long chunk, or can we have some cat naps? Let's say you sleep 6 hours a night, but you have a 2-hour snooze in the middle of the day. Does that count?
So we know that we don't sleep as well at certain parts of the day. That's because we have an endogenous clock just behind our eyes called the suprachiasmatic nucleus of the hypothalamus, and this keeps the time of day. And this clock during the day basically tells us to stay awake. So if we try to sleep during the day, sometimes we need to because we've been sleep deprived. Usually it's not the same type of sleep or the same sleep quality as what we could have during the night. So the jury is still quite out. It seems that we sleep much better in one big chunk, and we are able to do that now because we're sort of at the top of the food chain. And the only reason why we were not doing that, probably a few centuries before, was because we always were on alert for something. Sure. There were wars, there were people attacking you, etc. Yes.
What are your top tips for tip-top snoozing? And I'm wondering if top of your list is keeping those electronic devices away from your eyes an hour or two before you go to bed. Is that really so important?
That is absolutely very important, yes. These devices contain blue light, which tends to keep us alert if we look at it too long. And also just, even if we tone the brightness at its lowest, it's still quite bright. We're not supposed to get any light right now. For example, it's dark outside. And, if we didn't have electricity, we would be sitting in darkness, and that would lead us to sleep. Definitely we need to be away from these devices as much as possible before our bedtime. Mm-hmm. And also the second reason is because it delays the time we go to bed, and often we still have to wake up the next morning at the same time, so then it curtails our sleep.
All right. So that's me told, because I have a very bad habit of doing exactly that. But a very important thing to remember, and just to know the incredible health benefits of getting between 7 and 9 hours sleep a night. Thank you very much, Dr. Karine Scheier-Meyer, senior lecturer at the Wits School of Physiology, and of course that houses the Wits Sleep Lab as well.